ladies and gentlemen of the realm, creatures of progeny, vampire, creatures of realm of darkness. So, this morning, I have got a good one for you. And what I'm about to show you is quite the doozy indeed, but I've got a lot to cover for this morning in this video, so we're going to jump into it. So what I would like to show you now is a note card showing you exactly what has transpired yesterday in a conference chat, and it's pretty sad, to say the least, that in this video you're going to see that there was a girl and she asked a question. She merely asked a simple question, and the entirety of the progeny community turned completely, and I mean completely, toxic on her. So she asked, why is Lashiel saying these things at the end of a video? And she's referring to a video that was put out by the owner of Realm of Darkness to expose the truth and the lies of Lashiel Vehar, and to expose the propaganda that he's put. Well, as you can see, you have people who start to respond. Question marks. When will the HUD get a new update? Somebody replies and says, oh, this is sus. You have another one that goes question mark. Another one that goes, what is this? Another one that screams, don't click it, as if it's some kind of spam or link to a bad site. You've got more that go question mark, and then another one who says oof. Another one that says fuck off, goodbye. Exposing the toxicity of the progeny community right then and there. Followed by more question marks. The same girl then says it's a link to YouTube. What's wrong with a link to YouTube? But I guess people are just so paranoid that they can't trust any link nowadays, even from a well-reputable site. So you then got a Diabolics who chimes in. And this is Diabolic Cassie, who says, don't add me to this shit. You've got another one that says, another obsessive clown from ROD, which is our infamous pay-to-win progeny vampire who rides Lashiel's shaft like no tomorrow because of the trained bitch she's become. Another one then says, I'm guessing it's another troll. Another person says sigh. Another person then says skull face like they died. Another one that says do not click. Another one says so many hormones. As you can see, as it goes on, you start seeing the entirety of the progeny community become toxic, where they then start ganging up on everybody. They start calling them retard. They start using terminology that is hateful, that is not correct, that is just completely absurd, and just how you would normally not treat people. You then see this girl stick up for herself and say about our infamous pay-to-win progeny vampire about a situation that happened between him and an ex. Their business. If he beat her, not my business, but not cool. If he didn't, okay. You see his girlfriend come to his defense. You see another person, a former ROD player, who ran at the threat of being banned from PV, and I'm going to highlight it right here. Mr. Romeo Eldritch, he goes, ROD clowns. You then got others trying to divert the attention. You've got other people trying to just get a rise out of this people's skin with their toxicity, such as Miss Alina Viscardi Grimrose. She goes, someone is salty. You then see other people start to chime in, and as we go down, you're going to see, and you wonder why people make fun of you, Ken. How do you even know this is Ken? Already, right here, you've got Mr. Tox Chaotic and Linden Labs. I hope you do take notice of this. Already outing somebody as an alt, which is, as far as I knew from back in the day, from 2007 to the present, was, I don't know, a means of getting banned because you shouldn't be outing people's alts. You then see Mr. Romeo backing up Tox and say, you tell him, Tox. And as it goes down, you're going to start seeing more people join in. You're going to start seeing the toxicity build up and rise to the point where the arches get involved. The arches, the leaders of the PRogeny vampire community, such as Zoe Blue, Alistair Braveheart here, such as Rashiel, such as Arch Cleo, they all begin to join in. And they start outing this person as an alt. And they all just join in on it to gang up on one individual. You then see Romeo Eldritch saying, oh, they're a clown. As you scroll down, you start seeing the gestures come out of a clown face, of a shit face, of crying. You see Paradosos. They're putting out the face palms. And I do urge you to pause and occasionally read this, because as you see, as we go down, as we scroll, okay, and as you read this, you're going to see the toxicity grow. And you're going to see that this is a community that's not held accountable, that is allowed to get away with their shit, because why? They are the favorited individuals of Lashiel. They are the ones who go and cry to Lashiel and they get their way because they are the spoiled pansies of PRogeny Vampire. They are the ones that are allowed to become so toxic and they think it's okay to be this way. Yet, despite that, they will go around and in the eye of the public tell everybody, oh, you need to be respectful. You need to talk this way. You can't talk that way. You can't be this way. They even go as far as to play the victim right here, where you say, see, Mr. Tox Chaotic, say, he was force turned. Okay? And I've covered that in a previous video where Mr. Tox, he came back and revived on his own. Continuing on, as you see, you now see the crying emojis coming out, and you just see all this toxicity coming out. You see Arch Zoe Blue Alistair. She's here giving the same toxic treatment to this Patsy woman, but she's also diverting attention away from the facts. The facts that Lashiel, and if you go and look at his real life Facebook, because it is friends with his Second Life account's Facebook profile, you'll see posts dating back to January of sailing trips, boat trips, of multiple vacations, only spread weeks apart. And it begs the question, Why do we support a guy who's using PRogeny vampire player base's money to fund his own real life vacations? As we continue on, you then see Cleo come on. Cleo then says, well, we're not here rehashing old wounds, blah, 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 diverting attention, doing exactly the same thing that Lashiel has trained them all to do. Because Lashiel does the same thing, diverts attention away from the truth, and then plays the victim, just like the rest of this toxic community does. You see Felly. Felly is another known toxic individual because she has done the same thing, and she's crybabied whenever she's been killed in other systems on another game. Yes, she was killed at her own home, and she freaked the fuck out about it, and she basically had a meltdown over it. It was freaking hilarious. As you read on, you're going to eventually see Arch-Rashiel get in, and he's going to just straight up hardcore defend the system. And again, I urge you to pause and take the time to read, because as he's defending the system, he's basically showing how much the community just lies on its back with their mouths wide open, waiting for Lashiel to just squat down in front of them, open them butt cheeks, and push out a big nice log to go down their throats. And yet they have the nerve to frickin' be such hypocrites like this. Now, as you can see now, Arch-Rashiel has gotten involved and he hardcore defends the system. At which point, you're now going to see yours truly here, who's been added to the conversation. And as Patsy calls out all these individuals, I say a nice hardcore amen. And then Rashiel, again, like I said, he hardcore defends the system, but then I chime in again. And this is only a small portion of what is going on. But I tell them right here, I say, you know, let's be honest. 90% of the PRogeny community just pays money, which that money goes towards Lashiel's vacations, his real life leisure time activities, his sailing, his boats, you name it. But on the flip side of that, more importantly, it's shown the hypocrisy of this community. It has shown that these community leaders, that none of the individuals in PRogeny Vampire can think for themselves or have a mind to think independently. But yet, every single one of them will talk shit behind Lashiel's back. And they will all say, well, we all know Lashiel is all about profit. They will all say, we all know Lashiel is truly about this, but they won't dare say anything or call him out for it or hold him accountable. Because they do the same shit, and they are just as much of a hypocrite as he is. Yet, these people aren't even held accountable by their so-called father, Lashiel. Now, Rashiel then says, PRogeny will continue to stand firm. If it stood firm, why are people leaving it? If it isn't such a solid foundation, why are people leaving it? And we've already covered how that's left in, how people have left that in a previous video. With that said, I would like to thank you all for your time, and please leave a like if you've enjoyed this video, because the hypocrisy and the toxicity of how one community can just gang up on one individual is astounding. And truly, how they can just claim it to be somebody's alt and break TOS multiple times and get away with it is indeed just absurd. This is Shadow, And I wish you all a good day.